definitely earned it because we're going to have Deathspade back up against Rivers for our first winners quarterfinal set.
Oh yeah, you know, Diddy character, you know, whose kit historically has done surprisingly well for Bayonetta, but I want to see how Deathspade is able to play around all the new tools that Bayonetta might have at her disposal. Like that landing fair is third hit fair is something very new to her and very strong. As well as just like, you know, having a bunch of these different setups. Ooh, good call out from Rivers, knowing that like, hey, look, I just need to back off. You know, he has this time, not try to fight my way out of there, and avoids panicking.
I'm like having a freak out right here because Deathspade's playing with the banana better than Rivers is, and Bayonetta is a character that uses the B button quite frequently, so holding onto the banana is that much easier. She can still do some of her like basic combos and have the banana in hand throughout all of that. So Deathspade certainly feeling good, keeping it even though is Rivers. I mean, Diddy's damage output and with the banana in hand, his kill potential off the charts.
Oh, what a yeah! See, they fixed that move. What a great like wealth of knowledge coming out from Rivers, knowing that like, hey, look, a lot of people get kind of scared on platform. Let me go for this frame trap, and you know, Deathspade had one option, which was roll, and even then, that's not a great option to pick. So you know, harking back to what Dre says, is like there's these spots where like, you know, some people are like, oh, why did he do that? But what better options did they have?
Yeah, and literally caught between a rock and a hard place, or a monkey and his banana, and you never want to end up there if Donkey Kong Country has anything to teach us.
Yeah.
Nice. When Rivers is allowed to move, man, it is one of the hardest things to keep track of because they weave in and out of danger just so reliably, and all of a sudden you're at 101.
Yeah, I feel like his saving grace of all the top players is he has some of the cleanest movement, and I feel like it's one of those like it comes from like the bleed over from his Crom is that he has very strong combos, but his best combos and best strength, you have to really weave yourself into those like the small like 2-frame windows where they like where you can, you know, cover a bunch of options, but you need to really know how to put yourself in those spots.
Yeah, watching Rivers is like listening to a good song. Like you get to watch all of the studying and all of it work together so fluidly. That being said, Deathspade had quite the showcase in their previous round, and if he can pull off some of his early combos that he did in those games, like that we know he has, but the Z-Drop Banana puts an end to those dreams.
I feel like a lot of what dictated the pace of that match is like not only like Deathspade had a very good momentum going into that first stock, but what ended up happening is they couldn't quite close it out, and then from there they got a lot of like shield trap, and like they Rivers immediately just started, you know, getting those great anti-airs and got such a good beat on when they were going to do their afterburner kicks, and then once Deathspade no longer had confidence in their approach options, they started shielding, and that's when they got opened up to those monkey flips. And you just like, if you see that monkey flying towards you, you can actually spot dodge that. Like once he gets to about like halfway between his side B, and regardless of what option I think he picks, you can get through it and punish him quite heavily for missing.
Super rough to kind of deal with Diddy's and enhance momentum, and while Town and City is usually a really good stage for Bayo, like just allowing her to control the sky so reliably and have a lot more places to land. Also, no, good SDI allows Rivers to escape some of these combos. But Rivers, man, his home is Town and City. I hate to sound like a broken record sometimes, but I will like, don't take Rivers to Town.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you won't regret it. You will regret it.
Yeah, but wow, yeah, Deathspade doing so much better. Just you know, taking that half second to look inside themselves and say like, okay, here's where I'm losing, and here's where James is winning. What do I need to do to flip that over? And we're gonna say, where am I winning, and how do I play around the spots I'm winning? And they seem to have figured it out. They know that, like, when James is like trying to pick up that banana, that's where he's weakest. And like when he's trying to get off that platform, because Bayonetta has 50 different tools, you know, kind of play Dance Dance Revolution on your shield there.
Yeah, definitely a really high input density does this character have, but they can get on you in a flash. Rivers acknowledging the deficit he is at, has to go out there, punish that witch twist with his with Diddy Kong's super quick back air. And man, the differences and percent only matter so much when you already have that stock up, because in a case like this, and with how experienced Rivers is, 70% isn't too much of an ask for Rivers. He just needs to be careful not to fall into moves like that and potentially lose his stock. But the DI's been on point lately to prolong his life. Up until those.
It feels like a very somewhat uncharacteristic. Rivers is like really trying to fight his way out of disadvantage, and Deathspade now is that's what they realize, is that like, hey, Rivers really likes this, really likes monkey flip in this match. So how can it? What's his max range, and what is more preferred ranges? Is he gonna always do the tilt, or does he like the smash version better, or does he like full hopping or short hopping? And like, what moves will beat it out, or at least go for a favorable trade? And, Deathspade right now, as you can see, is was up a full stock until Rivers was able to come out on top in that scramble scenario.
That's huge. That scramble just turned this game from like Deathspade running the show to a very winnable game for Rivers. And while Deathspade is still trying to show off these combos, these reverse up airs, chains that he's been doing, like giving any player that's experienced this Rivers, that crack in the door means basically you're throwing the door wide open if you don't shore up those the holes in those game plan that you've got going.
It's as the saying goes, give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
For real.
This mile long right now is looking quite big for Rivers, but I think Deathspade right now is just finally regain the composure. Like a lot of the scrambles we're seeing, Deathspade's actually starting to come out on top. But phenomenal parry. And see, the thing I was talking about earlier is like, yeah, Diddy might have actually had fair punish for fair, but most characters like don't have a good aerial to punish like a move like that with parry. But since he knows that a lot of people like to shield, he was able to do the monkey flip grab and punish the immediate shield after getting parried. It's just a little
damage for it too.
Yeah, that you have to look out for.
Small optimizations really matter, as both players kind of walking on eggshells a little bit, trying to play the evasive game, use these platforms as Deathspade goes really low.
Yeah, it's weird because it's one of the things where like in these high percents you actually want to play more grounded because you have more defensive options available to you. But when you're playing like a character that likes to control the air versus a character like Diddy who's practically designed around the floor is lava. Do not touch the floor. I will hit you. But very great stuff. Deathspade was really starting to adapt, but like the thing is that these strong players in a matchup that can be quite difficult for your characters, like there's only so much you can do, and once the top level players starts adapting back to you, making that that second or third level, it becomes less and less attainable.
And think of it like a time kind of thing. Like it took Deathspade a game to rally himself back and adapt to what Rivers was doing in game one, and it worked. It worked for a good long time. But Rivers was able to adapt within 2 stocks, and that just level of time, like you're always going to start favoring the player that can change up their style and change up their plan a whole lot quicker. And Rivers realized like, hey, I have to start playing a little bit more grounded. Some of my banana tricks in midair, some of my monkey flipping tricks across stage are getting caught and getting pretty hard punished. So I'll rely back on what Diddy really likes to do. Hold shield, have banana in hand, monkey flip around, land with things like forward air and back air that are really, really safe and hard for Bayonetta to mess with at those ranges. They were super, super ready for the opportunity that they got at the end of Game 2, sealing them the set. But hey, no slouch on Deathspade. That Game 2 was prime gameplay, always ready to try and punish the banana pull and not try to deal with Diddy when the banana was in hand.